journey wasn't fast. Every play a chapter built to forever last. Concussion took the uniform but never took the name. The bronze stands in Canton now. Show them might, show them strength, show them light, standing in line. When all Pro 59 is coming at you, you'll never be ready for what to do. Your drive is over, third down is through. It's Luke, right on cue. Panthers, great and legend of the land, enshrined by Canton and this band. In bronze forever, it salutes the name. Game by game, he earned the fame.
We're hyping up the team in my HOF journey. Subscribe now.
Man, what a day.
Love it.
What a day, Pickle.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Luke just went in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I got teared up a little bit. Luke touched everybody. He reached out to every person that ever helped him get this part, including the kids that he's coaching now. And Luke Kuechly is the best player to ever wear the Carolina Panthers jersey ever. Not just linebacker. He is the best player, the best person ever to wear the Panthers jersey. And I don't really care if people disagree.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. It might be a biased take, but personally, he's my favorite player. He was a player after a very short period of time that I literally would watch him every single time the ball was snapped and we were on defense. Right. He did things that were damn near unhumanly possible. A guy that would have 24 tackles in the damn rain. Shit like that. He was just such a special player. There'll never be another Luke Kuechly.
And it's hard to beat that trajectory, Jake, because he won the Defensive Rookie of the Year just like Nalo won Offensive Rookie of the Year last year. So we could say that Nalo has the chance to match
He does.
But
he does.
Boy, it's a tall order because the very next year, Cole, just the second season, he won Defensive Player of the Year. And you're talking about Nalo winning Offensive Player of the Year this year. My Lord, he'd have to have a triple crown to do it, I think, and that's just unheard of. But it's so hard. It's so hard to accomplish this. Is my point, Jake. And Luke Kuechly, just out of the gates, was a fantastic prospect and a fantastic linebacker for the Carolina Panthers. It's big footsteps to fill, my friend.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, you talk about somebody that just absolutely spoiled us at the linebacker position. I mean, we've been known to have great linebackers, y'all. I mean, you go all the way back to Sam Mills, you go to Dan Morgan, John Beeson. I mean, Thomas Davis played with Luke Kuechly. I mean, all these guys, we've been absolutely spoiled at the linebacker position. But Luke just took us to a level at a linebacker position that it's never going to be reached again for us. It's just it's facts. It's never going to happen again. We're never going to get a linebacker that played up to Luke Kuechly's standards, played up to his level. And we're absolutely blessed to have him play for us at Carolina for 8 seasons. And a guy that played the game right, and he was just as nice and great off the field. Thank you, Luke Kuechly, for everything you've done. Thank you for giving us 8 wonderful years. Keep pounding.
Well said, Jacob.
Keep pounding. Good stuff.
Fact. Folks, we've got a lot of ex-Panthers. We've got a lot of Panthers on the roster. Or not really the Panthers on the roster because they're not qualified to join the Hall of Fame until they've retired 5 years. So who do you think Dees is the next the next former Panther to be in the Hall of Fame?
Maybe Steve Smith, maybe Greg Olson, maybe Cam Newton. They're all three. I mean,
Right.
Steve's been on the waiting list here, and the NFL Hall of Fame up there in Canton, Ohio, is just kind of backed up on wide receivers. They got to get a lot of them in, to be honest. But I know some people make the argument against Steve, but I don't believe in that. I think him being that Triple Crown winner is enough, along with all the Pro Bowls he made and everything he did for this franchise. And even after he left here, he still was effective as a wide receiver. So I think Steve really deserves to go in next, Pickle. I know how things work, and it could be that Greg or somebody beats him in. But in my opinion, I think Steve Smith should be the next one we see as far as the Panthers. At least we've got the three that we've got now. I'm thankful for what we do have, man. Sam Mills,
right,
Julius Peppers, and now Luke Kuechly. That's a good start for us as Carolina Panthers fans, for sure.
Amen.
Let's see which way they go from here, right?
Absolutely. Luke gave his interviews. He touched on those guys. He touched on the guys that next on the list. And now Luke gets a vote. Luke gets a say now. There's never been a tight end to get over 1,000 yards 3 years in a row. If I'm going to make a bet, I'm going to say Greg Olson or Steve. Does Greg get to be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Well, I don't think he'll be first ballot.
I don't know how long Luke retired before Greg, so Greg will come up real soon. What do you think?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd absolutely love to see Greg Olson be first ballot. I think he'll get in. I'll say that much. I think Greg eventually will get in. I don't think he'll be first ballot. The next guy I think is going to be in the Hall of Fame, and rightly so, should already be in there. Dee's just got done talking about it. Steve Smith. The dude was. I don't know if people realize that this man was 5'9", and he was a Triple Crown winner, and he played the game at 5'9" like he was 6'4". He didn't take no shit from, pardon my language, he never took no shit from any corner, any safety, anybody on the defense. He talked that talk, and he always backed it up. Ice up, son. Steve Smith is next.
I think it's going to be not how it should be. It should be Steve. It should be Cam. It should be Greg. I think y'all touched on it a little bit, how many receivers are trying to get in, and it's backed up at that position. I could even see a world where Cam might even, his ass would get in before Stevie does, but I think they're both Hall of Famers. And I would like to believe Greg is, because there hadn't been too many tight ends, especially lately, that have showed out like he has, Pickle. So maybe we can sneak all three of them in. It'll be a great celebration all over again if we get to do those things.
Let's see what Panthers.com said October the 22nd, 2025. Greg Olson was actually eligible for the Hall of Fame this year, but he did make it through the initial screening. So that's a step forward, because once you make it through that initial screening, you stay in there pretty much for several years, that initial screening. So I would say Greg made it past the preliminary candidates list, but he played a few years for Chicago and the Panthers, and he played a few years for Seattle. Would he go in for the Bears or the Panthers?
All us, without a doubt. With 100%, he's going to go in with us. I mean, the vast majority of his career was with Carolina. The most fun he ever had in his career was with the Carolina Panthers.
Hey,
what's up, D buddy? How you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm still trying to wake up, but I had to pop up. Did I miss my boy say sweet things about his great career?
You did, my
Yes,
man.
you
You
did.
did.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna go back and watch it.
yeah, you could go
You
back
got
and
to,
watch it
D.
and
Amazing. It
D
was
D.
amazing.
Make sure you have a tissue box next to you, brother.
He
That's
didn't
all.
miss anybody. Coach, player,
He
He
didn't miss
absolutely
everybody.
cooked.
anybody.
Okay.
He touched on the past and the present.
Yeah, I think like
Fans.
later on this evening, I'm gonna sit down, have me a nice little drink, maybe a snack, and I'm gonna sit down and watch it in a great way. I will say I am like extremely proud of him. I'm also proud of how the organization and his fan base for how they've shown up for him this week and shown the rest of the league how we treat ours. They leave it on the line for us. So it's a great day for Luke Kuechly, great day for the organization, great day for the fan base. Um, I'm hoping in the future as we go on, we get to continue to have more of these weekends with future Carolina Panthers.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Just
So
wanted to
my
point out
So
Mike in the chat. Mike had a couple good ones. He said Jay
Thank you,
Stu
Mike.
possibly for the Hall of Fame, along with D'Angelo Williams. That's a
uh,
good one. And
that's
Jordan
what I'm
Gross as well. That's another good one that could get in. I like all those.
mm,
saying.
Jordan's been eligible. I think all three of those have been eligible for several years now. But it's
Uh,
hard for some of those to go in. Go ahead,
it's
D man.
hard. It's hard for me to like when I look at like a bevy of our Panthers, even though like I love them to death, and they'll always be like my Panther Hall of Fame. But I just always felt like we was an organization, regardless, even when we contend, that there's not a lot of respect amongst the league for us. Like just overall. Like I feel like Cam's personality, right, is gonna hold him out for a while. Cause there was a lot of press, different people that just didn't rock with Cam, regardless of the scenario. We talk about Greg. I think Greg would be a great guy also, but they're not gonna clamor for Greg because he won't in the Chiefs kingdom and all those other natures. But like in my eyes, I feel like Thomas Davis should be up. But he's not gonna have the resume as some of the others. There's like so many Panthers that did so great by us, and it hurts my heart that the nation didn't respect them at the time or want to put the respect on them while they were doing great things for the Carolina Panthers. And now we get to the point where they're at the end of their career and they're having to wait. Like I understand the Steve Smith. The wide receiver class has been loaded for some years now. That's pretty much a backlog and a log jam. But Luke, he got what he deserved. But when I start looking at other players, I just can't help but notice that just the way we're carried in the media when it comes to the regular team, how we've always been carried, there's been a lack of respect that we've gotten, and I think that it could permeate over to some of our other players that are not named Luke Kuechly or Julius Peppers or Sam Mills.
I just
Absolutely.
feel I just feel like when it comes to Steve Smith, though, I understand his backlog. I've seen the names. Don't get me wrong. It's insane the backlog they have at wide receiver. But I just feel like when you're 5'9", triple crown winner, and
Singing
the
to the
way
choir.
he played the game, man, I'm sorry, but there's not any other Steve Smiths out there.
Jake, I'm like 5'6" nothing. Okay. Anybody 5 foot anything does anything remarkable, they are first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yes,
You can
sir.
call it bias, but me and those little
I
what
love
they
it.
call them lollipopkins on the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, the lollipop.
Oh, yeah, we support all the little people that have made us look like giants in history. And Steve Smith should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer just for being short. And I'm sticking to it.
Amen. I
Here's your
love
lollipop. Here's your
it.
lollipop.
Lollipop yield. I wholeheartedly
Oh,
agree, though. That man was different. He should have been a first ballot. There'll never be
And then
another.
everybody want to call that man a jerk and an a-hole, right? You're in the NFL being 5 foot nothing. Isn't part of your skill set to have to be a jerk or an a-hole at 5 foot something trying to play in
right,
the NFL?
right,
I
right.
would,
Well,
I
we
would
know
probably
wide
recommend it.
receivers. Well, wide receivers are known to be divas. That's just the reality. It's not unheard of for a wide receiver to
But
have a.
Diva, he was a bully. He
I
was
know that's what I'm
taking
saying.
much money.
when it comes like wide receivers have personality. You're not going to get rid of the personality out of wide receiver. Cornerbacks have them. Wide receivers have them. That's just the yin to the yang, y'all.
Janoris Jenkins. Let's ask Janoris Jenkins if Steve Smith is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
D'Angelo Hall had his career ruined by Steve Smith because he run his mouth, he
Yeah,
talked
he
his
did.
talk, and Steve Smith embarrassed him so bad that he never did walk that walk, not even remotely after that.
I was so proud of Steve. I was just so proud of Steve at one point because Steve had been such a live wire for so
Right.
long, and it didn't take nothing to make him snap. That finally somehow he realized how to utilize that to the point that it became his advantage. And it was like every week they would be like, "Okay, this week Janoris Jenkins, Janoris come out there, yeah, I'm gonna lock him up." What do we get? Ice up, son. Yeah, here we got D'Angelo Hall. I'm one of the best corners in the league. Steve Smith ain't nothing but mouth. Ice up, son. Look, he's affecting wide receivers that don't even play in the league, i.e., Jerry Judy. Steve Smith, first ballot Hall of Famer. Short people run the NFL. I'm sticking to it.
That's right.
I'm with you on that, D. 100%.
So who are they? Let me ask y'all this. I know it's not Panther related, right? Um, did they do Larry yet? Because I was looking forward
Yeah,
to his
Larry
speech. I
first.
He
really
was
loved
Yeah,
first.
Larry's
Larry first.
story.
He
he
was
was good.
good.
He
He
has a
was a
really
good one
interesting
too.
story, and he's
Right.
a great guy. Like,
Yeah.
so I really wanted to check that. I'm gonna watch the whole thing, but what about Drew? Did Drew do good, or did Drew get
No, Drew ain't
mediocre?
done it
Like,
He ain't
yet.
gone yet.
Roger
Nah,
Craig
he
is
ain't
going
win
right
yet.
now, I believe.
Right. Right.
man, you know
Right.
what? That's a guy I'm so happy for because when I was a little boy, we talked about Roger Craig like these kids talk about Saquon and Jonathan Taylor and things of that
Mhm.
nature. And I mean, like, wow, you think about the time frame that he played, and he was 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in that era, in the most
Mhm.
physical era
Yeah,
of
it's
the
insane.
NFL.
Yeah.
That like, first of all, I'm gonna say this, and y'all might have covered it because we are like a like-minded podcast about a lot of things. It is absolutely criminal, and the NFL should be embarrassed that it took to the year of our Lord in 2026 that Roger Craig finally got inducted
Oh,
into
it's
the
insane.
NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. He should have been in. And he's somebody that's never played for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm like you, D Money, and like minded too. If somebody deserves to get in, they deserve to get in. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to play for the Carolina Panthers for me to say that. And Roger Craig did not play for us, but he's definitely a guy that should have been in years ago.
Well, the thing about it was, bro, his career was over with before we was established. We didn't even
Yeah,
get an opportunity
that's
to bring him to the
that's
seventh.
true.
You know what I mean? But he was one of those guys, like, even as a little boy, I could identify with him as a fun person to watch.
Yeah.
And I just hate that, and all of this is a backlog, and you can't convince me that all of this is backlog. But you have like this whole subsection of greats, right? Who
Hmm.
left their imprint on the game, and they've kind of just been passed by. And it's now 2026. Thank God Roger Craig is still alive to get us flowers. I was so happy to see him. But I would just hate for like one of these great immense talents or whatever to just be bypassed, and then it's like one of their family members have to accept the bus. Like, I'm a true believer of giving flowers while they're here. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Yeah, that
I
doesn't
agree.
happen often enough.
Right. And
Very
a
good
lot of
take.
that to me is the and it's a circle to find out who's the fault of it, but um they only allow now 5 people to be going in per year. Um, that's a kick in the shorts to some of these folks. I mean,
But Pickle,
it's
why is
so
that? Why?
ridiculous.
Why? I'm sorry, Pickle. Why five? I need to understand why is
I,
five just such clean number that they want to use.
I tell you what, I love to answer that, but let me tell you, doing all the searching I do, calling and hear them talk about it, hearing people that make that vote. Uh, Bill Polian is part of the committee that makes that vote. He's in the Hall of Fame. He said the Hall of Fame committee, which is made of NFL associates, some owners, and Hall of Fame members, only want it to be low to make it extra special. If you let everybody in that wants to be in, then it is a meaningless Hall of Fame, and they want it to be meaningful. But every time you get a member of the Hall of Fame on TV or on the radio to talk about it, they say it should be increased. You get somebody on the NFL to talk about it, they should be increased. Everybody says it should be increased, but nobody doing it. So that's why I say it's a circle.
It
Somebody
shouldn't be a set
lying
number.
and they ain't owning up to it.
It shouldn't be a set number. It's just if everybody
I
gets
agree.
like
I
whatever,
agree.
however it turns out that falls
It
within
turns out
qualifiers and
right.
guidelines, that's what it should
Right.
be. Honestly,
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Luke,
Because there are so many guys who should be in the Hall of Fame that are not. And I mean we could go back all the way to the 60s of folks that should have went in the Hall of Fame that never did. They're
absolutely.
long gone now. But
Pickle, do you remember the receiver that played alongside Jerry Rice, John Taylor?
yeah.
If you go back and you look at that man's stats, right, and you look
Mhm.
at what he did with Jerry Rice being the one, John Taylor had a Hall of Fame career. Like
Yeah.
Jerry gets the praise, but John Taylor's numbers would be right up there with Jerry's in a lot of those games. To be quite honest, you got to remember San Francisco was like the greatest show on earth for damn near a decade. And then, like even with that trifecta that Washington had with those three receivers, where all three of them from Sanders, Clark, and Monk, like multiple years, where all three of them had 1,000 yards and so forth, and like where do we
It,
draw the line of excellence? I guess is
right.
the
And to be honest, and maybe I shouldn't say this time, but I'm going to. Um,
Oh Lord.
Today there are 18 games a season. Back in those days, there was only 12 games a season, and you still had 1,000 yards in a season. So don't tell me a guy gets 1,000 yards this season when there's 18 games that he should go in before a guy of that decade. That's BS. Those guys had to fight, do a fist fight running down the field to get open, and then catch the ball. These guys nowadays, you slightly bump them and you're going to get a pass interference call. So the guys that played back in the day should go in over the guys that are playing today, even if they don't have the yard attached to it.
I'm not gonna lie to you though. This is completely off topic what y'all talking about. But looking at Luke Kuechly's bust, I sort of see Dan Marino in it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
what the hell?
I'm just over here staring at it. I'm just staring at. Like, why does that look like Dan Marino to me?
Stop staring at the bus, Jay.
I'm,
I don't see Dan Marino.
I see Dan
I don't
Marino.
either.
I definitely do.
I was
I
going to
see
say for
people.
clarity that the NFL hasn't moved to 18-game regular seasons yet. We're still at 17. But the point
You're
being
right.
that we play many more games than we used to.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just a
Right.
fact. It's not that hard to be a 1,000-yard rusher or receiver like it used to be. And to what you were saying, Jake, this is something I've been wanting to talk about for 3 days now. I wanted to know how they were going to do Luke Kuechly's
The hair?
hairstyle.
Yeah.
And and I know it's something little, but as a big fan of Luke, I really like that they put that curl in there because when he came into the league, he had really curly hair. It was curly all over, if y'all remember, in his early years. And then it kind of flattened out a little bit, and now it's really straight. It's not nearly as curly at all. So I like how they gave a little tilt of the chin where he's looking up just a little bit there, and it's got a nice curl right over to the side with his hair.
Look.
I think they paid tribute to both the older Luke Kuechly and the younger Luke Kuechly at the same time with that bust. I think they did a fantastic job with it. I know it's a little trivial thing, but I was really curious on how they were going to capture his image in the bust, and I think they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, shout out to all the Hall of Famers so far. All these busts that they've been really great. They've been really good.
He if I remember, I read an article or I watched Luke talk about that, and they gave Luke the options of different hairstyles that he's wore over the years. He picked that hairstyle out himself. That's one he picked out.
I like it. I like the one he picked out.
And I
And
do
you know,
like that.
Peppers did the same thing. You know, we saw Peppers put the gold jacket on Luke Kuechly last night, and his head was completely buzzed. But when he did his induction into the Hall of Fame or his enshrinement, what he did was he went with the cornrows, which was more of a classic look from Peppers, which was really cool. I thought, Jake, I like how all that stuff kind of pans out.
I do too. I like how they had their input over it. You know what I'm saying? Like it seemed like it'd be kind of asinine, I guess you could say, if they didn't ask them for their input on it.
Right. There was quite a many.
If they just did whatever they wanted to, D's, like they just said, well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it this way.
just so folks know, and I just wanted to shout this out. There are quite a many. There's some articles out there that actually go in detail with what he's talking about behind what's behind his bust, his hairstyle, and this one guy has been doing these busts. The one guy's been doing these Hall of Fame busts for years.
I ain't seen this.
And
cool.
he learned it from his father. So it is at the Charlotte Observer. I'll shout that out. And when you get an opportunity, go read up on that. It's a very interesting talk. Very interesting. You really can find out a lot. Luke goes in depth with the eyes, this type of eyes. The guy talks about it himself. You know. Yeah, that's how older. So
I find it interesting they're sculpting from a live model. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Luke's actually sitting there as he sculpts this out in clay. That's interesting. Right. I thought they used a photo from the guys' playing days. I didn't know they went from the live model and made the bust. That explains a lot of things. Yeah.
Right. And he even one place he even talked about trying to do it off a photo, but it's possible, but it is real hard. Like Sam Mills, he had to do it off the photo, but he got his wife's assistance with it. And it's harder doing it that way, but anyway,
because you're going from 2D to 3D. You know, can you imagine?
Right.
You got a 2D image and you're trying to make it into 3D. That would be so hard. So,
right.
Shout out to the sculptor.
Right, and you know, the NFL has a lot to do or a lot to work on the Hall of Fame. With the votings and all that, and a lot of times when a lot of the media members are Hall of Fame, they selection committee, and they're passing away, and instead of having a vote on who should do this, the NFL just picks somebody, or the Hall of Fame committee just picks somebody. It really shouldn't. It really should be a bipartisan, reach out to.
If they really want to make it special, as they say they want to make it special, just leave it to the people that's got yellow jackets.
Yeah.
Right.
They haul. It's kind of like how you do the Heisman to a degree. Like, even though they do have some media votes in it, a lot of that vote is the former Heisman winner. Let the people with the gold jackets decide who they want to stand beside them. I mean, you got to have maybe one smaller factor into it too, but I think it should lean heavier more on, if you already in, your say should be bigger. Since you're talking about exclusivity and all that.
Who else but Hall of Famers know what it takes to be in the Hall of Fame and who to vote and who gets
the blue and black attack?
Yeah, that's also true. Michael, I completely agree with you though, bro. John Casey would be a good one too.
I forget about John Casey, and I feel bad when I do, because he like our real first kicker, like of worth. But for some reason, I think maybe because we got tortured by so many kickers and had a stretch of luck with these kickers, yeah, I didn't want Casey nowhere near that filth at the time. But shout out to John Casey, because really, Casey should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Has the numbers. He's kind of got Vinatieri-like numbers without the rings.
He does.
If you really shouldn't think about it.
Absolutely. And that goes to show you the only reason why he's not is because he doesn't have those rings.
Yes,
So
yes. That's the only deciding factor.
right
I mean, dude
now,
has over. I mean, listen to this. I mean, he has over 1,900 points.
right.
He was 98% on extra points, and he was an 81.9% average field goal percentage guy. I mean, those are all great numbers. I mean, for real, for a guy that had how many years did I say he had?
Over 10.
Like 20, over 20.
Yeah, he had a career. It won't like the touch of 10. He got retirement for real.
He had
Right.
exactly 20 years experience. Like that's insane. That's a hell of a career, y'all. It really is.
I wish I
Uh,
could have been a kicker for 20 years.
I'd be a long snapper for as long as JJ doing it.
Hell
So
no, you
what a
gonna get beat
gravy
up.
job! What a gravy job! And then I mean, and then about once or twice a week he shows up. He sits at home, gets on his computer, and talks for 2 or 3 hours on XM radio, and gets a good check doing that.
And
I
drive
tell
a
you what.
golf
Like
cart and talk to people who actually collide pads with each other.
right,
A
right,
lot
and he gets honored like he's a superstar by a lot of Panther fans. I mean,
He's
what
going to
a
Hall of Fame.
guy!
He's going to Hall of
I'm
Fame.
jealous. I'm sorry, but I kind of got
You,
beef with Jansen because he's living my life, man. Like,
that's
That
it. I
man,
mean,
he's going
do,
into his
do,
20th season.
right? Do you think Jansen will ever be in the Hall of Fame as a long snapper?
hell no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, he getting
Yeah,
in there,
yeah.
y'all.
JJ was asked this on the radio on XM not long ago, and he said there is a long snappers in the Hall of Fame. I
Hold
nearly
on.
wrecked my truck. I
Hold
nearly
on.
wrecked my truck when
Oh,
he
no,
said
no.
that.
Hold up, Pickle. There's a technicality with that. You
There
remember
is.
back in the
There
old days,
is. Yeah,
cats
yeah.
ran both
That's what
ways.
JJ meant.
They ran
Hey,
both ways. Like you
right,
might
right.
be quarterback and daggone field goal
Right,
kicker.
right. Which before JJ Jansen did it, y'all know who our long snapper was?
I can't remember, man.
It was it was
Whoever
it
lined
was
up,
another Jason Kyle or Kyle Jason. He was actually a linebacker.
they should have
Yeah.
got a golf cart.
He was actually a linebacker back in those days. That's
Hey, you
that's
remember Pickle though?
that's
Long snapper wasn't a position for the longest. Like when you looked at it on
right,
a depth chart,
right. It
like that's
wasn't
not a position.
right.
Like
You literally used a tight end, offensive lineman, or somebody on your team that could snap real good. At training camp, if you
yeah,
needed one, they had everybody line up and see who can snap the ball better.
yeah. And that's why, like the first time I ever turned on the Madden and I got to the depth chart and that joint said LS, I said, "You got to be kidding me." Like, you mean tell me I'm gonna give up a roster spot for JJ Jansen? Like, dude, like, don't get me wrong. I keep him as the long snapper, but I just think that is the dumbest position to classify as a position, like with a depth chart. Like, are you gonna have more than one official long snapper on your team? Like, why is there a depth chart? Why is there a depth chart for a long snapper? But don't let me no go on from there. But with Jansen, I don't know how we could put him in the Hall of Fame. We don't have a base. We don't have a measuring stick. Like, how does it go? Like, because he didn't like muff any snaps. Like, do we go by that? He didn't throw him over Bryce's head or the kicker's head or somebody's head or anybody's head. Like, how do you measure what's a good long snapper, in my opinion? Like, outside of being able to snap the ball, like, how do I determine that JJ Jackson's long snapping ability is more elite than an Atlanta Falcons long snapper's ability, besides the fact that he's an Atlanta Falcon?
I tell you how, D. A measurement that they don't use that I guess it's impossible to really measure it unless you just believe in it and you see it, and that's heart.
Right.
I honestly, I think the way somebody plays, man, and the longevity and just the way they went about it is, which I count as heart, should be a factor in a lot of these conversations when it comes to certain people if they get in, don't get in, or
Right.
why this person should be drafted or not, why he shouldn't. He might be 5'6", but the dude's got heart.
You can't use it as a measuring stick because every
It,
fan base, every voter can say that somebody's got heart. You see what I'm saying? Like, because it's all about how I feel about you. Because like
it
I could say like one player, right? Oh, he's got heart. He might not have the skill set as Project A over there, right? But his heart is pushing him over, right? Yeah. But then the next guy is looking at that same player, right? He asked,
Right.
but he got
That right
heart.
there,
Don't see it.
that right there is our long snapper that used to be.
Jason
His
Guy.
name was Jason Kyle. And on special teams, uh during preseason, like the third or fourth preseason game at the time, he played linebacker late in the game.
He looks like it in that picture there in that
Yeah,
uniform. Like put work on you.
yeah. And he played linebacker, and then but you during a regular game you never saw him. Now, but y'all look, here's his Wikipedia page. J uh uh JJ is the first official long snapper the Carolina Panthers ever signed. This gentleman was considered a linebacker that did long snapping, and he was drafted as a linebacker with Seattle.
Well,
So
and that's why I'd say it. You can judge JJ on his impact to the team because those stats aren't there, like you're saying, D Money. They really
Right.
aren't there to judge him on that. But his impact on the team, you can judge that for sure. Did Jason Kyle have the kind of impact that JJ's had? No.
No.
JJ's been here for 20 years. He's remember all the frustration with Matt Rule drafting another long snapper. We couldn't do that because of his impact in the locker room and on the team, and all that other stuff that Pickle was describing earlier. The Sirius XM, the cart talk, whatever it is, the work with the social media teams and his own social media online. All those things enrich the Panthers fans' experience and the culture of the Carolina Panthers. That's how you really judge him, not on the amount of snaps that he's made, but on the longevity and the impact of his culture within the locker room and upon the team. That's how it's really judged, in my opinion.
okay.
Right.
So this is where I can come to the compromise with because we probably couldn't measure that in Hall of Fame status. So I'm gonna ask this question, right? Do you think that JJ Jansen deserves to be inside of the ring? Our ring of honor?
100%.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm like you, D Money. Years or so ago when I felt as I had to keep, uh, you know, JJ, I did not like it.
They would
Fact
slot him
is,
as a tight end for some reason
right.
on
Well,
Madden.
after the first year, I'm not gonna lie, I cheated. I went out and got a tight end that was third or fourth on my depth chart. I elevated his long snap ability. That's what I did on Madden. I cheated, absolutely. But it is what it is. It's either that or use an offensive lineman. And some of the offensive linemen or tight ends are already rated high enough that you don't have to do that with
Yeah,
by the
absolutely.
design of the game. But this gentleman was drafted in the fourth round to play linebacker, and eventually, like I said, most teams lined everybody up, and a lot of times it was once a year because they only gave these guys 1 year deals to see who can long snap better, and the guy who can long snap better got to be long snapper for the rest of that year. And today the long snapper is an actual position.
Yeah, I got respect for JJ for the
Right,
amount of time he's been. He's a family member or whatever.
right,
It was
right,
just though, it was always a good joke for me. It was always like, what the heck does JJ actually do? Like,
right.
he knows where the bodies are buried. Like, he's still here. He knows, like, when we
Right.
need a
And
good Carolina Panther 30 for 30, all we got to do is go get JJ Jackson. And
I
it's classic.
I don't know if
He's
anybody's
the Forrest Gump of the Panthers. He's just been everywhere.
to anybody out there that's listening and watching right now. If you ain't watched it, I highly recommend it. However you feel about Cam Newton's 4th and 1 pocket, I like it. I enjoy it. But he had an amazing 4th and 1 episode just a couple of days ago, and he had a sit down with Canales, Bryce Young, Terrell McMillan, JC. But he had a sit down with JJ Jansen too. It was a really good. It was a really good episode. I definitely recommend you to watch and listen to it.
I'm just
Right.
gonna say that the best thing that ever happened to Cam Newton was getting fired from ESPN. I feel like his personal content has gotten so much better since he's gotten from that ESPN news or whatever.
Right.
So I am like, congratulations to Cam on that too. And Jake, absolutely agree 100%. If you are a Panthers fan, you will love the training camp edition of Fourth and One.
To
Yeah,
answer your
Canton was
question
back in the
earlier,
bank, and that's the big part that he doesn't mind coming back to the bank now after that play.
Man,
And when he came for the Rams game, that's what's big for Panthers fans, I think.
right?
And Pickle, I just wanted to quick wrap up the Jensen conversation with a bow here.
Okay,
You know,
go ahead.
Luke Kuechly called him out there. JJ was just really touched in that moment that Luke gave him all that thanks to not just him but his wife as well for the tutelage they both provided for Luke. And that just is another layer that shows you how deep that JJ Jansen really reaches into this Panthers culture. You know, it affected Luke Kuechly, and hey, it affected Nalo just last year. So it's just something to think about the brevity of JJ Jansen and how long he stretched across this Panthers culture and how much impact he has made for a guy that's just a long snapper that just snaps the ball. But he still matters here in that locker room. He still matters as a leader in that locker room. Pickle.
Absolutely. Real quick, a while ago, the asking you shall receive. Uh, the committee is made up of a 33-member representatives of the Pro Football Writers of America. There are 17 at-large delegates, with the exception of PFWA representative, who is appointed for a 2-year term. All appointments are renewed annually, approved by the Pro Football Hall of Fame Board of Directors. Um, and yeah, as you can see, this is a pro football. Uh, it's Pro Football Hall. Uh, uh, well, you just you can find it. I'm not going to read it. I can't even read all that anyway. But uh, the finalists, they're considered senior blue ribbon members, up to 9. This list here actually will go in detail, and it gives you who the an Arizona retired Arizona Republic a press guy. You know, you can see some of them, as you can see. Some of them you may recognize: Vinny Crucci, Darren Gant of the
Yeah, I was gonna
Panthers.
say I know Darren Gant.
Right. You can see some of these. You know, Tony Grossi of the Cleveland. You know, I've heard him on the radio. He's kind of a regular member on XM radio when they talk of John McClain of Houston. A lot of people remember him. Um, like I said, you go down through this list and know a lot of them who they are. Mike
Because they've
Santo,
been
the
around a long
athletic.
time.
Right, exactly. So these aren't guys. Mary Kay Cabot, uh, Jason Cole.
they've been
Uh,
around since now.
right, right.
Literally,
Sal Palatonio, Bill
there's Bill
Polian.
Polian. Yep,
Right.
that's another good one for us.
Jim Trotter. A lot of these guys are, and these are the guys that votes these guys in. You know, Bill Polian explained it this way. He said, and sometimes it gets rather heated because some guy, for example, and I'll use this as example. Say John McClain wants to get somebody in there, and maybe Tony Grossi doesn't want him because for whatever reason, maybe he says he quit going to church and I don't want him, or he was pulled over for DWI in 1952 and they didn't want him in there. And just little tiddly stuff, then it could break down into a heated argument over that one guy, and pretty soon the most of the members will table it for next discussion to get somebody passed through. And that's what a lot of this is. There could be a good reason, or there could be a related reason. Darren Gantz often said that he is the one that puts out Steve Smith almost every year. And he puts out Steve Smith, and let's say uh let's say Murray K. Cabot puts out uh what's the Colts receiver that needs to go in? Um Cole, we was talking about the other day. Who am I thinking about? There's another receiver that has to go in.
Torrey Holt's the one I think of.
Torrey Holt.
Yeah,
That's what.
Torrey.
Not Colt. The Torrey Holt. Let's say Torrey Holt had to go in. Then could break into a heated conversation, and then Steve not go in because of his current situation, or somebody get mad because Steve hit Ken Lucas, and that's brought up again. Everything that they do is analyzed and scrutinized over a flaming fire because, again, the board of directors of the Hall of Fame, who they won't recognize, said you can only have 5. And that's what I said earlier. It's almost a circle that goes around and around and around with no end. It's quite a bit like the government of the United States. There's always an excuse, and it's always somebody else's fault. So,
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things they could do to clean it up and make it better.
right.
And we've gone over this stuff before, but there's lots of things they
Right.
could do differently here. But so I understand what you're saying.
Right.
I just want to say real quick, again, thank you, Luke Kuechly, for everything you've done for the Carolina Panthers organization. Thank you for being the guy you are off the field, and you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, man.
I shared that on my timeline, by the way, folks, and that y'all hit like and subscribe and share the content. We only need 9 more subscribers to reach our goal. 9 more, and I really don't see any reason why we don't get that. We need 9 more. We need Bryce Young amount of subscribers to reach our goal.
That's the perfect way to put it. And we're trying to get it in the next 3 weeks, so it should be easy, guys. Y'all have been so supportive, especially this week, this Hall of Fame week, this big celebration that the Blue and Black Attack has thrown. I mean, this is our 5th live show this week. Not all of them have been directly focused around Luke Kuechly. They've also been focused around the Panthers as well. But with it being such a big week, we knew we needed to buckle up, buttercups, and stay strong and be here for you guys to get you all this information that you're looking for with the Panthers' first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game, and Luke Kuechly going into the Hall of Fame. We also put out 3 shorts this week along with our 5 live shows. More stuff for you to check out, just different versions of content. We got a 16-minute video by Panther Pickle we put out this morning. Just gobs and gobs of content for you guys to watch all weekend long, not to mention Panthers prime time back last night. We got started a little bit late, but dang, it was a good episode. If you didn't stay up and watch us, go back and watch it today or watch it tomorrow. You got plenty of time left this weekend to cover all the Panthers coverage that the Blue and Black Attack has brought to you. I think we really did a good job paying tribute to Luke and honoring his career here to the fans. If you look at our montage and what the Hall of Fame put out, you'll see a lot of the same clips. I grabbed them. I found them. I dug them up. I brought them to you so that you could watch them for multiple weeks. We've been playing that video for weeks leading up to this event today, the enshrinement of Luke Kuechly, the legend of 59, bronzed in glory forever in Canton, Ohio. Man, it's been a blast, Pickle. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It's been such a great week. And we still won Thursday. We still won. Jake is literally been called the best Hall of Fame game in the history of the Hall of Fame.
And I said it during the game, man. Like that was an amazing game to watch. It really was. I mean, we might have had some really bad plays on defense, but it was just an amazing, exciting game to watch, man. And I'm glad we got the dub.
Absolutely. And there's, folks, the next preseason game is next Saturday at 1:00. Y'all know we'll be here. We got you covered.
Sure will.
Might be 2 of us, might be 1 of us, might be all 5, but we got you covered. And we were talking earlier, me and Dees and Cohen. The best thing about the Blue Black Attack is every show's different. None of these shows talks exactly about the same thing in every show. So if you see me on Monday and you skip Cole's show and you pick up D Money show, you're gonna miss something. If you decide to watch, if you say Panther Pickle, I ain't watching your show, you stupid, you ugly. Then you pick up Cole's show. I don't see why you'd be any different than that. But anyway, or you just only watch D Money show. That's great for D Money. That's great for Blue&Black Attack. And we don't bother with that. If that's the show you want, that's the show you want. But you're missing out because each show has a different concept. Each show has a different opinion. And each show's run different because we got 5 what we consider hosts. And they do their own thing. Jake does a great show that comes generally on a Saturday. Drop videos through the week. Him and Diesel Skills do. We got you covered. And a lot of the stuff, even if you're busy and you're working or you're working around the house, or if you're mowing your grass,
background,
stick your earbud in and listen. There's nothing that we show that you won't get a description when you're listening.
That's very well said, Pickle.
Hit the like, share, and subscribe. And y'all keep pounding. Deez, you got anything else you want to say?
We laid it all out there on the line. Luke Kuechly's in the hall forever. I don't know what else I can say, man. It's been great.
Anybody else got anything they want to say? Speak up.
Keep pounding. I'm good.
Keep pounding. And one last time, Luke.
And if you ain't with us now, you ain't welcome to the parade.
Welcome to the Blue&Black Attack podcast. We're hyping up the team in my HOF journey. Subscribe now.
chapter built to forever last. Concussion took the uniform but never took the name. The bronze stands in Canton now. Show them might, show them strength, show them life, standing in line. When all Pro 59 is coming at you, you'll never be ready for what to do. Your drive is over, third down is through. It's Luke, right on cue. Peppers, great and legend of the land, enshrined by Canton and this band. In bronze forever, it salutes the name. Game by game, he earned the fame.
We're hyping up the team in my HOF journey. Subscribe now.